a mother, and a self-published author of Flawed But Called, Jesus Still Loves Me, Shucks, the 35-day devotional journey towards daily healing, transformation, correction, and protection. That's a mouthful. We're going to talk about that too. Miss Xenia, girl, let's clap it up for her. There she go.
Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
Can I call you Lisa, girl? You want me to call you?
That's what you need to call me, Lisa girl.
Yes. Girl, we gonna talk tonight, Miss Lisa.
And don't forget the girl.
Lisa girl. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Did I hit it right?
You hit it perfect.
There we go.
Thank
there
you.
we go. And last but certainly not least, we had Miss Donna Haynes. She's recently highlighted on WHUR's as their Wow Woman Shero. She also was on my show too. So, but we want to throw that out to her that she was there Wednesday Shero for Women's History Month. She's the founder of DMV Mothers Like Me, and that's a local support group that connects suburban mothers of DC, Maryland, and Virginia, whose lives have been impacted by gun violence. At the peak of her professional career as an event planner, she ended a 22-year marriage, then suddenly found herself in a new, unexpected role as the caregiver to one of her adult sons after falling victim to senseless gun violence. As a result of her life-altering experiences, Donna has become a divorce recovery coach, as well as a self-published author of Cincinnati Doe, a mother's 30-day journey in the ICU, which relives the details of her tragedy turn to triumph. So those are our four panelists. Miss Donna, let's clap it up for Miss Donna.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Derik, LaMar. Hi, Queens. How's everybody?
Yes, everybody.
Good. Thank you.
I am honored to be here with you young ladies. As everyone often hears me say, I love my creatives. I love the fact that you ladies had the idea, made it come to fruition, went through things, made it happen. So I just want to clap it up for you all in honor of Women's History Month. I'm proud now, and I'll say it again and again, to be here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I speak for myself.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you for helping us and allowing us to share our stories.
I feel honored to be among fellow queens here today. Each one of us, we have a miraculous story. So let's get to it.
Definitely, let's get to it. So I'll be asking some questions, and we'll go around and we'll ask each of the authors questions, and some we'll have other questions that'll come. Some questions may be for some that may not be for others, but we're gonna go into it. And if it's a situation like we in church, if you're going too long for the sake of time, we're gonna go ahead and put our finger up like this. Excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and get it. So I guess we can go in the order that I called you out. So we'll start with Miss Danita. Tell us a little about yourself before you became an author.
Well, before I became an author, I was a sign language interpreter and single mom, of course, not of course, but single mom. And also I did some other things on the side, like serial entrepreneur, pretty much people tend to call me, because I've done quite a few things. I taught high school, college, every grade there is to teach actually. And I taught English and from high school up, as well as adults old enough to be my mom and my grandmama. So it has been quite a journey, but it all seems to have come together quite well to make me the woman I am today. And I am happy with her.
There we go. That's a mouthful right there. To teach everything we do makes us who we are.
Indeed.
That's right.
Miss Charmaine from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself before becoming an author.
So before I became an author, I was a single mother, still a single mother. My kids are grown now. I was a youth leader at my church for years, a teacher, teaching kids, and a mentor for kids also. A mentor at the youth center, the Department of Juvenile Justice for the kids. And now I've always written, though. I've been writing since I was since I was a kid, but
Okay.
now that I'm an author, I love what I do. I still work with kids, still doing things kind of the same, but yeah.
And that's something I want to come back to that to the just kind of see, is that the common thing you said, you've always been a writer,
Mhm.
you know, so I want to come back to that, and I'll ask
Okay.
the other ladies as well. Miss Lisa Girl, how you doing over there?
I am well. I am well.
Yes.
So
Tell
basically,
about
before I became a writer,
you.
I never really wrote, to be honest with you. I wrote when I needed to write, but it was nothing that I just had a desire to do. But as reading my devotionals, I mean, as I began to read the Word of God in the morning during my morning study time, you know, I began to send out little quotes to folks based on what I read, not giving them scripture, but giving them the quotes that I received from the Word of God pretty much. And as I gave them the quotes, you know, my mom had asked me, she said, Lisa, have you ever thought about putting this in a book? Then it was a couple of other folks that said the same thing. Then I was at this women's conference and this total stranger came to me and she just said, you have a very bold spirit. And I said, just listening to her. And she said, you're supposed to be writing a book. This is a total stranger. Okay. I wrote this book 2 years ago, but I did not finish it. I had it edited. I already had the ISBN number, everything, but I did not finish it. I was hesitant because I was like, do people really want to hear this? However, I went ahead and during this pandemic, the Lord just woke me up one day and said, go ahead and publish that book. And everything was in place and I published the book. And before this, I taught preschoolers for 22 years. That is my passion.
See, look at you and Miss Danita teaching the babies.
Yeah, I taught for 22 years. Yes.
I bet your class was fun too. I bet both of y'all
That's where I got the name Lisa Girl from. My students, that's where I got the name from. My students started calling me Lisa Girl. And it's just followed through.
That's a whole story. Right?
It really is.
Miss Xenia, the Lisa Girl.
Yeah.
We can see you all are, see, this is how it works. Some things as we get to know, and as the people get to know you all, it's going to be some things that's going to pop up that's going to have more questions on. So Miss Donna, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. You see me smiling from ear to ear just to hear these ladies' stories. I'm full right now.
We ain't even started peeling it back yet.
Right.
We just getting on to how you doing today.
Right. How you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing well. I received my education from PG County public school systems. I'm a graduate of Bowie State University.
BSU.
BSU.
I got married fairly young and had 2 kids who are now young adult men. Event planning has always been my passion. That's where I spent most of my adult career. Breast cancer awareness, gun violence awareness, those things have always been a passion of mine as well. But more recently, I think I found more of my purpose after writing this book. It's really put me on a different path and have me see some different things in a new light.
Wow. Yeah, we're going to thank you, ladies. We're definitely going to get in. I have more questions. Now, we got a little bit of who you were prior to becoming authors, prior to becoming your book, you're doing your books. Now we're going to get a chance to let the people hear a little bit about your books. I'm seeing Mr. Danita I see your background there. Let's start with you. So let's tell the viewers a little bit about the book that you published.
Okay, so the book is The Other Side of Unforgiveness, Your Guide to Overcoming Personal Hurt. It's a journey, my personal journey, where I share my story of how I was just distraught by divorce, a very quickly ending marriage that I felt was the marriage to my soulmate. And I thought that all was lost when it fell apart. And it fell apart pretty quickly and pretty dramatically. Wow. And I turned that story into a story of triumph, because now when I see him or think about, how he might be doing, I think of him with a positive mindset, but it started out with just, we got married in February? No, we met in February, got married in August. And by the next August, we weren't together. And I was on my late honeymoon trip with my friend, who I begged the airline to change their name to, so she could go instead of him, because it was a non-transferable, non-refundable kind of ticket thing. And I begged them, please, you got to let me, I need this trip. Y'all don't understand what I'm going through. And I told them my story, and they changed my ticket so this young lady could go with me to share, that time, so I could start my healing process.
Wow.
But it didn't really start then. It didn't really start then, but because I was still very hurt. But
you're still in the midst of it.
Yeah. But I did get to a place of healing, but it was a process that I had to really, like, step by step figure out what I wanted and make it happen.
And I may ask this question to everyone, to have something like that so traumatic happen, and to someone like you said, this is my soul, and to have something like this happen, and how did you say, okay, I'm going to put this into a book? Was that was a part of the process? I take.
Well, interesting question. So the book came about because I had noticed after about 3 years, how Facebook has a memory that shows you what you said on that day. So I started seeing
memories.
I started seeing Facebook memories of posts that I was making every year. Every year I was saying something about forgiveness, because I was working through it. And I knew what I was doing to heal on my own journey. So I would hashtag, forgive and live, something like that. And then I realized after the years had passed that I was seeing, 6 years ago, you said this about forgiveness. 7 years ago, you said this about forgiveness. And I said, well, shoot, if I've been talking about it this long, I should probably write something. And all the ducks fell in line. I met someone who was a book coach and hooked up with her and said, you know what, this is it, I'm doing it, because I had already written the whole outline once.
Wow.
I pulled everything together. And it's weird because how every single post that I had about forgiveness ended up being a quote that preceded each chapter to the book. Like, it just fell in line. It was amazing.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is something. You already had the blueprint, and we kind of jumped ahead. We're going to come back on that because you definitely touched on something. Let's see here, Miss Charmaine, tell us a little bit about your book.
All right. Can you hear me good?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So my book is called I Am Unstoppable. It's a book of self-inspiration for children. It teaches them how to encourage and love themselves. And the book, it gives them actually what to say. It tells them that they can do anything they want to do, and they can be anything that they want to be. So a lot of times, like with children, we're always looking for people to validate us. So this book helps them to be able to validate themselves, because no one should be able to say, you aren't, you can't, and you won't, but it allows them to be able to say, I am, I can, and I will. So
I love it. Got to inspire the babies. Got to inspire the babies.
Yes, indeed.
Miss Lisa, girl, how you doing?
You're on mute.
I am doing super fantastic. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Now I can hear you coming through loud and clear. Tell us a little bit about your book, and and I got some follow-ups off the break about shucks.
So Flawed but Called. Basically, I wrote this book, like I told you, it came from daily little affirmations. I guess I was sending folks on a daily basis. I was texting them because I was off of Facebook. Sometimes I would get off Facebook because Facebook could somewhat be distracting, because I love Facebook so much that it sometimes stopped me from getting work done, and I'm currently attending Bowie State myself, pursuing my bachelor's degree. So, being in class and focusing on that history that I don't know nothing about. So sometimes I have to get off Facebook. So basically, when I wrote Flawed but Called, when I put it into a book, basically it's a 35-day devotional. And it's basically letting folks know how cool God really is. Those that really believe in Jesus Christ as their personal savior, is letting them know we're all flawed. But God still called us for a great purpose and a plan for each one of our lives. So despite of me going through everything that I've been through, molestation, incest, domestic violence, gossiping, unforgiveness, resentment, bitterness, betrayal, all of those things, I knew for me that I was flawed. I did go through all of that stuff, but that was not going to continue to be my life. Yes. And I made it my life for so long that I was never going to live like that again. I am flawed, but I'm called. Jesus Christ has called me to do a great work for him on this kingdom here on earth. And so, shucks. And Jesus still loves me. Shucks.
And
who will check me? I'm waiting. I am waiting. So we're all flawed. But God got a great purpose and plan for each of us. And we just have to live in it. I don't care if you are gay. I don't care if you are a lesbian. Guess what I'm going to say this? We don't know why those people are the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? Only God knows why they are that way. If you drinking, guess what? Jesus turned water into wine. It says to not become a drunkard. And we have to recognize our wrongdoings and get up, repent, get up, and keep it moving. Shucks.
Ooh. Hey, won't he do it? Now, yeah,
he said he would. The battles for you, then they wonder how you sleep at night. What?
That's right. I got one more quick question though.
Oh, I'm married. I just wanted to let you know, Dirk, I'm married.
That's what's up. Well, let me ask you another question. Let me change it up there. Like, let me holler. Right on the Zoom. Right on the Zoom. Now let me ask you this.
Yes.
Not 5 days, not 7, not 30, 35 days.
Mm-hmm.
What's the significance of the 35 days? Because I already know it's something.
Okay. So 3 is the Trinity. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, right? 5 is favor, right? You get the Trinity, God will grant you favor. 5 plus 8 is what? New beginnings. So when they begin to read this book, I hope and I pray to my Heavenly Father that they will notice that they may be flawed, but God still called you. So you don't have to walk around in a rut. You don't have to walk around with unforgiveness in your heart. You don't have to walk around with bitterness. You don't have to be afraid to come and step on a panelist with other college graduates. I'm in college now. I'll be 50 my birthday. Understand what I'm saying? Because I know God called me. Yes. So, but he granted everybody else, he's going to grant to me. But I had to release me from me in order for God to do the work he needed to do with me.
Woo! I knew it was something. I already knew it was something. I knew it was.
I'm glad you asked.
I had to. When I saw that, I said, I'm going to ask her, what's with the 35 days? The 3 with the 5 with the carry the 1. You put something into that.
God be the glory.
Thank you. All day, every day. Miss Donna.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I don't even know how I can't follow that one.
I had to take a breath. I'm like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That she put that thing together, didn't she?
I'm gonna share just a little bit of a secret with you all.
Okay,
Lisa girl and I have known each other since we were 8 years old, maybe.
What?
And she has prayed over me and my son numerous times. So yes. I appreciate you, Lisa girl.
I appreciate you, my friend.
Yes.
We've been knowing each other since the 3rd grade. So we usually 8 or 9 because both of our birthdays are late.
That is, man, I ain't know we was gonna have one of these daggone moments. Jeez, Donna.
Yeah.
Lisa girl,
I will say just a sidebar before I tell what my book is about. Danita, your story and my story are parallel, sis. So we should definitely talk offline.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Cincinnati Doe, A Mother's 30-Day Journey in ICU is the name of my book. And it's actually a memoir that recollects the trauma and the resilient recovery of a young man after being shot. But the catch is the story is told from his mother's perspective. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt, all while going through my own trauma. And generally, we really, with gun violence stories, we generally only hear the negative that comes out of the deaths, the despair. But this story is absolutely a story of inspiration, of faith, of courage. And as readers read through the book, you find yourself cheering for the main character. So it is definitely a story of hope.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you, ladies, for sharing those stories. Like one of the things I said in the very beginning, people, here we are, just, you know, a few minutes in, people are definitely going to be touched. People are going to be motivated. People are going to be inspired. And one thing, just as we saw here on the panel, like you said to Ms. Danita, hey, our stories are very similar. You know, there's going to be people out there watching and listening tonight that are also going to say the same thing. You know, like Ms. Charmaine and Ms. Lisa Girl said, we're here touching people tonight to let them know they're not alone. They're not the only one. And that you ladies overcame some serious personal situations, fears, etc. Didn't hide your head in the sand. You came up and did your thing. So yes, this is going to be, hey y'all you didn't expect to get these gems tonight when you clicked on this link, did you? You didn't expect to get all of this. This is serious here. I commend you all for just being just so forthcoming with all the things that you went through. Which brings me to my next question. So we kind of touched on some things. You kind of, you know, how things happen. Ms. Danita, yours, I think you said was just slightly ahead, right on the cusp. But during the pandemic, what made you all, and you can answer in with that time as well, what made you all write your books during the pandemic, and what was your intended accomplishment for? Like, when you know, in the middle of a whole pandemic, you know, how did you put it together, and who was the audience, or what was your main goal in putting pen to paper?
So as you said, you're correct. I did actually release mine before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, what made me really start promoting it again and driving it home was because I knew that people were home, sitting around thinking with more time than they ever had to think, hanging around with people who they had more time to be around, and trying to figure out if they wanted to be around them anymore, or if they, you know, just what was going on. And a lot of people with that time that they had to themselves had to come to themselves. And forgiveness or unforgiveness, I always say, is usually at the root of so many problems. Almost every single thing, if we think about it, can boil down to you either haven't forgiven yourself for something, or you haven't forgiven someone else for something. And I knew that people who had already read my book told me that it helped them in ways that they hadn't imagined. That one lady said, she said, you helped me realize that I was still dealing with something from 40 something years ago.
Wow.
And that made me say, okay, let's get this back, you know, into people's hands so that people understand this is the time to deal with it, because you have not nothing else to do, but you have something else to do, but you can't get to it because you have to do this first, which is forgive.
Getting blocked.
Yeah.
Wow. Can't heal what you don't reveal or acknowledge.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah, that's something. Miss Charmaine, how about you? What made you decide to
So for
write
me,
this book on the pandemic? Yeah, what was your intended accomplishment with this book?
okay, yeah. So for me, I work with kids every day. I'm at the school, I'm at the community center, I'm at the detention center. teaching my program, I tutor, I mentor. So I'm always going and I'm always with kids. So on March 15th in 2020, Texas just shut down. So for me, I mean, mentally, I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, what am I gonna do now? But writing is my go-to. Writing gives me life. And so I just thought about different books that I wanted to write that would encourage and inspire. And I just started writing, just kept going. So that's what made me write during the pandemic. It was all I had to do, really.
Yeah. It's either, like you said, right, or going back to like what Miss Danita said, people were watching Snap and figured out that didn't work too well. So yeah, it's right. Now you said something earlier about you have you always wrote, you're always a writer, you always, at what age were you kind of putting things together where they kind of, kind of like did you go from just like fairy tale type stuff, or like what type of books or what type of things was young Charmaine in Nebraska out there writing?
So when I was a kid, I just used to write stories all the time. Probably like as soon as I really learned to write. So let's just say 4 or 5, when I could write good, I would write stories and my mom would read them. I mean, she had to read stories all the time and she bought us more paper. So even my teachers, they used to read what I wrote. And when I was in 3rd grade, me and a friend of mine that I was in school with, we wrote a play. And we actually got to do the play while we were in school. So I've been writing. I write poems. I mean, I write everything. It's just something that I really love to do. Writing inspires me. It just makes me feel good. That's like my happy place.
That's what's up. I love it. That's what it's like. What did you do when you was little? Okay, Lisa girl. I love saying that. That's so fun.
Yeah, you said it nicely too. Thank you. You know me, like I told you, I've never had a desire, unlike Charmaine, I never had a desire to write. But as I was sending these, like I said, these affirmations out and during this pandemic, like I told you, I did this book maybe 2 years ago. I just had it all typed up 2 years ago. But I'm gonna tell you this one thing that hindered me from doing it was like fear. Do people even really want to hear about this? Do they really want to hear about, I mean, this is how God spoke to me, but is it going to speak to them in that same manner? Would they get anything from it? So I had the affirmations, but then I said, you know what? This book is about the Lord. I want it to be about the Lord. I want folks to get saved and filled with the Holy Ghost. I want them to experience what I'm experiencing, and it's not everything I just want to share with people. Just know when you begin your walk with the Lord, it's not that everything is going to be perfect. Okay? Because if everything is perfect, we don't have no need for him. But what it does is, but this is the deal, it's a process. So don't beat yourself up because you're going to be all right. You might cut somebody out at work, but guess what? You're going to apologize to them because you never want to thank who you are in the Lord. Hey, baby, you don't ever want to tell who you are in the Lord. Somebody just came in my house. I'm sorry, y'all. You don't want to tell who you are in the Lord. And then you want to ask God to forgive you because you don't want to continue to conduct yourself in that manner. We're flawed, but we're called. And so with this book, like I said, I was never thought to be a writer. But when God told me to do it, I just had to do it. And God, even though that lady told me, that stranger, God had to tell me. And when God spoke, he spoke. It was published and done in about 2 weeks. Hard copies of them and everything. Donna, and this was in October. Because first what I did was I create like positive tees. So I had a shirt. God told me, just send it out. It was a shirt that said perfectly imperfect. My thing that said perfectly imperfect was way before all that crap y'all see on Facebook selling them. Okay? It was just perfectly imperfect.
I did that.
And I just text some folks. I said, would y'all like to buy this in that same night? And I'm not playing with you all. 49 shirts went that same night.
Wow.
And I don't have a large circle of friends or anything. I know a lot of people, but I just sent it to certain people. And that night, 49 people purchased that shirt from me. And then I was laying down. God said, so what you going to do about this book? You're going to go ahead and publish it so other people can hear and they can receive what you're receiving. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Called a couple of connects up. We got this thing done literally in 2 weeks. That was my birthday's in November. When did we talk, Donna? Did you call me on my birthday?
It was November, yeah.
You called me she called me on my birthday. And I said, look what I did. She texted me for my birthday. I said, look what I did. And then she said, look what I did.
Look what I did. Wow. Y'all got me blown way over here.
I'm telling you, when God be moving, y'all, he be moving. You just got to be in alignment with the process. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad you answered the plane that he sent, because you sure did ignore the boat in the car he drove by you.
Right?
Got that book out there, lady.
Like, dang, Lisa, girl, how many people I gotta send your way to tell you to write this
Right.
book?
Because you know
what?
But you know what, guys, to be very honest with you, folks can come and say things to you all day long. But I believe that God really speaks to me. And when he speaks to me, I just have to obey. It's like you can't turn away from it. It's like you just know what you know, that you know it's him telling you to do something. But I knew it was him when that the stranger came too.
That was him.
When the stranger came, because she didn't know me from a can of paint. She didn't know me from a can of paint. And I've never seen that lady before in my life. And I think I remember what she looked like. I will go to her church because I do want to give her a copy of the book. To let her know I did write it.
I'm gonna tell you what got me. This is the part that got me, and I could tell it got Danita too. After you did the shirts, and you said, God said, I can just see y'all like, Lisa girl, hey, what we gonna do about that book, y'all? that's
like you making shirts and whatnot. I told you to publish that book.
Yeah, you out here
that part.
Exactly.
You making headbands and all this stuff. I told you to put that book out there.
Yeah. And so he already gave me an idea for another book too. The next book is going to be a collaboration. It's The Mess Before the Miracle. And so that was coming up very, very soon. Sooner than you. The mess before the miracle. You got to go through the mess before you can experience.
You got to go through the mess. Because you don't know what a miracle is.
I know Danita, you experienced the miracle, and my girl Donna, sure enough, experienced the miracle. She experienced the miracle firsthand with her very own eyes. I experienced it with her. Yeah, this is not,
That's
hey, go ahead and put me down. Go ahead and put me down for one.
I will.
Miss Donna, this has Miss Lisa girl always been like this since y'all was 8 years old? I love it. I love it.
If you can imagine all of this packaged into an 8-year-old, yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
I love it. Now, Miss Donna, same question for you. You know, during this pandemic, I almost said pandemic, I almost totally blew the word. We've heard that word 2,000 times over the last 12 months, and I almost just fumbled the whole word. Pandemic is what it is. During this pandemic, what made you, we family here. First of all, listen, we family here. We talking. I can stumble on the word. We ain't got to be perfect.
I speak bum fumble, so I knew exactly what you meant.
You knew what I was trying to say. Like say we family, like my girl said, we flawed the call. So during this pandemic, what made you write this book? See, I did that. And what was your intention with the book?
Well, like Lisa, I had no intentions on writing a book. I have been a writer, I think, all my life, like Charmaine, writing short stories and poems and inspirational thoughts and things like that. But I had no intentions on writing a book. But the 30 days that my son spent in ICU, I kept a journal. And I started out doing it the first couple of days. I just started writing things down, like all the medications he was on, the surgeries and things like that. And after a few days, I felt like, you know what? I probably need to start documenting everything, because if this child actually survives, I want him to know what happened to him. Whether he would read it himself, I would have to read it to him. Not even sure if he would be able to comprehend, but I just knew I needed to document. And so fast forward a year later, we had a big celebration of life for him. and I gave him the journal, and I kept just like one of those school notebook spiral notebooks that we
Mhm.
at Largo. And
Oh,
I gave him the journal. And after a few days, I went to him and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have this deep conversation. I want to know what he thinks. And he's like, Ma, I can't read your handwriting. And I was writing pretty fast most days. There was a lot of chicken scratch and all of that. So I promised them that I would go back and type everything up, and I never did. Life just kind of got in the way until fast forward again, a year later, the pandemic. And just like all of us on this panel, we had some additional time on our hands that. And so I pulled that journal out and I started just typing it up. But the more I typed, the more emotion started pouring out. And again, this was during the time where we were watching Black men being killed on TV, right?
Daily.
So I'm grieving. I'm just pouring everything into this book. I'm starting now to grieve my son in a way that I couldn't grieve when the incident actually happened. I had to be a caregiver. I had to be the medical advocate. I had to be the prayer warrior. I didn't have time to grieve, but that was my time to grieve.
Wow.
And before I knew it, I had a full manuscript, y'all. I had just, it just felt like it was yesterday. And so I went to my son and I asked him, Cam, what do you think about publishing this? And he said, let's do it, Mom. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And my intent, like I said, it was just supposed to be a story to him. I wrote it in first person narrative. So it was just like me talking to him, just like I'm talking to you all. But what I found is that it has landed in traumatic brain injury, the traumatic brain injury community, with gun violence survivors, with single parents. It's in medical facilities. It's now on the college campus, Bowie State, as a matter of fact. It's being used in a social work class for standard assignment. So it's really gone a long way to help and heal people. And I'm overwhelmed with just excitement. I did not intend for that to happen, but I'm sure glad that it did.
That I am, and we talk. You were on the show, and we've spoken in detail about it. It was just one thing I heard you say that just sent a chill when you said you started writing and said, if he survived that. And when we sit here, we see the book behind you. That's something that, as I read the book, my heart goes out to you, and I've seen him and just amazed the fact that you had to actually go through that, the fear of wondering, is my son gonna be okay, man? That Donna is strength right there, and I commend you for having the ability to while that's happening, just to write it down. And like I said, a bit of it was therapeutic as well.
It was very therapeutic.
Yeah.
And my son, even, he read it and he has said, Ma, that took such courage and strength for you to relive this, because he didn't know half the stuff that's in that book. He really only knows what we've told him in spurts, but he tells me all the time that took such strength and courage.
And I want to, you brought up something that I want to ask each of our authors here. When you're digging deep, you're putting these things together for your book. Was there ever a point as you're journaling or you're, Danita, like you said, you were going back through memories, pulling things. Lisa girl, you had, things that you were going and getting revealed to you. Was there ever a point where you were like, ooh, I can't share that? Or was there a point where like I got to, or is there a situation where I got to change the names to protect the innocent or protect the guilty? Did you ever wrestle with what do I put in this book? Is this too much? Is this, and I know this may be, especially, with your book, and the situation that happened, did you ever wrestle with, maybe I'll leave that part out?
Are you asking me?
I'll get, you know what? I'm gonna start at the top. I'm gonna start with Danita, and I'm gonna just come all the way back around again. Because she was getting ready. She was like, oh.
She was like,
yeah,
like
she was
double
Dutch.
dutch.
Double dutching. She was double dutching.
which I can't jump. Grew up with boys. I don't know how to jump.
We used to be out there watching.
I was jumping fences and climbing trees. I didn't. But anyway, to answer that, there was a moment where after I had written everything and I had turned it into my editor, and I asked her, did she think it was too much? Or no, I asked her, did she think I should ask my ex-husband's permission for getting the book out? And she said, and what you gonna do if he says no? And I said, still do it. She was like, so what you asking for? So that was my hesitance, because I knew that I had shared so much. And the crazy part is I was more concerned about, do I want to put him out there, because I don't want people to be angry with him for what he did to me. I was still in protective mode. That was the reason why I went through what I went through, because I was so busy protecting the person who wasn't protecting me. I was so busy protecting him still. And I said, you know what? This is my healing. If I don't get this out there, I'm going to hold back my own healing. So because now I'm so free, like literally I will tell people anything. And they say, God, I feel like I know too much. You told so much in the book. Like, oh, I should know this much about you. I said, listen, one thing you won't be able to do is say, yeah, I heard you did this.
Right.
Yeah, you heard it from me. I don't have a problem.
You heard it from me.
So
I see it.
So the whole thing was, I wanted to protect him because I didn't want people looking at him sideways. But then I said, well, that doesn't make sense, because at the end of the book, I clearly show I've forgiven him. We're cool. So how you gonna be mad at somebody I ain't mad at?
Right. The only person matters to is that you're okay with it. Shouldn't nobody be feeling no kind of way, holding no type of feelings against the brother. If I let it go, you let it go. Okay.
So that's why I got past that.
There we go. Again, like with Donna, therapeutic.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Miss Charmaine, I know you got something for the children. You got something for the babies. Is there through your other writings, throughout your prolific writing tenure from being a child on up, was there anything that you in your writings like, maybe no, let me not put that in there, or I'm going pedal to the metal, or is it pedal to the metal? See?
So for me,
I'm flawed, but we're gonna get it together.
Yes, but I believe in pedal to the metal. I believe in being open and transparent, being real. But I do believe that sometimes when you tell stories, not like in her book of forgiveness, but when you're telling a story where there's a lot of people, maybe you're telling things about others, you should protect people, or at least protect their names, especially if you're using their names and using their story and you didn't have that permission. But if it's your story, it's different. But for me, I think that there's so many times that we protect people by keeping stories in. Like, so I have another book series. It's called My Daddy's Baby. And it talks about rape and molestation. It talks about incest. And it's family secrets that you sweep under the rug, because we don't want Uncle so-and-so to get in trouble. I don't want my daddy to get in trouble. And I don't, and it's crazy how you can go down the line and a mother will protect the man, a child will protect the man, even women. Somebody will protect the woman that did it, and nobody wants to talk about it because nobody wants to be the one that told, because everybody thinks I'm gonna be the one that gets in trouble. But you don't understand, if you tell, you can save somebody else. So I think that it's okay to tell those stories and that's your out. Maybe that's your free. And if that's what's going to help you, then that's what you need to do. Because why be bound?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is walking around with a smile on their face. Don't let it happen.
Right.
You. That's what it's all about.
I love it. Lisa girl. I already know what you're gonna say.
Lisa girl had to take a pause, so let's hop to me.
We're gonna hop to Miss Donna.
Yes.
You definitely dropped some things in the book here. It was a couple. And I'm gonna get all the ladies' books because you definitely got my mind just like wow. So definitely we'll get to that in the show and make sure everyone watching and sharing this can get everyone's book. But Donna, I was like, whoa, like
I told it all.
Told it all. They're like, I really felt like I was there, So, and for you, was it therapeutic, or did you ever wrestle with some like, should I say that? Should I keep that out, or did you wrestle with that as well?
I did, because just like I said, I was telling the story to my son, so I did kind of, think a few times, oh man, is this too much information for him? And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. But I did have to, like Charmaine, I consulted with an attorney about disclaimers and consent forms, what names should I use, what names can't I use. I didn't want to ask permission of some people, so I changed their names to protect myself and protect, the privacy of some folks that are included in the story. So yeah, that was a somewhat of a challenging part of the process. But my book is sort of a tell-all. It's very, very transparent.
And that's what the transparency that you ladies have given us just tonight is amazing. So I can only imagine when we get a chance to look at the other books and look in there and see. I know it's going to be something. Gotta love a good book. So I can't wait to check them out. Leads me to another question. When you all and some have kind of briefly touched on it, and we were talking about the descriptions of the book. When you finally got to that point, when you were like, all right, I'm gonna do this book, was there an intended audience? Was it someone that or a group that you want to specifically get to, or was it more so I'm just gonna just put it out there? Was an intended audience, and has that changed since it's been released? Is it the same kind of groups that you intended it for versus now that it's out in the shelves?
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Hey,
Lisa girl.
Hey. Okay. Well, basically, did you want me to share about my other little thing?
You know what? Yes, let's get you, and then we'll start back up with Miss Danita with the intended audiences of the book. So you look like you ready to rock. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that same question to you.
No, let me put my readers on, because basically what I'm going to do, everyone, is I'm going to actually read you just a little small excerpt from my book. And this is what I was very I was hesitant about this piece because I'd become very, very vulnerable. And people have a tendency of playing on your vulnerability, but my truth is my truth. And my truth can possibly set someone else free. So I wanted to share this part. So basically, I wrote in here, it's very short. It just says, when God created me, he broke the mold. He created me for his purpose and to inform others to simply do you. I am different. There's no one in the world like me. Y'all can check it out for yourself. You ain't never gonna find another Lisa girl nowhere in the United States. Even in this world, Africa, Asia, Antarctica, New Zealand, you're gonna find another Lisa girl. Okay. And I finally embraced me for being different. Have I always accepted my weird self? Absolutely not. For 44 years, I was living a lie. I was a people pleaser. a liar, a flatterer, a manipulator, and a fake. I did not know who I was, or better yet, I did not know my truth or my worth because I was a liar. I wasn't living in my truth. I would read scriptures daily, pray daily, and try so hard to fit in with anybody. I just wanted to be like everyone. I gave others permission to define me, validate my worth on who I was supposed to be based on their Richter scale, and simply massage my insecurities by treating me like shit. Yep, I said it, and you still curse too. I'm just reading out from my book. But it says, flawed but called. And guess what? Jesus still loves me. Shucks. I embraced the mistreatment because I was so confused about me. And I wanted to be accepted by anyone who gave me a little bit of attention. Shucks, this is my truth. And I sincerely pray that by me being brutally transparent, it will help you to identify some of these same traits in you, and you choose to accept you. That right there, I wanted to take it out, but guess what? Shucks, it was my truth. It is no longer my truth because I don't even give a crap who likes me or who don't like me. Because guess what? I like me. I love me. And I'm good. And so I want anyone else love you. Like my shirt says, I don't know if y'all can see it. It says be you. And they will adjust. And if they don't, that's not the person that's supposed to be in your life.
There we go.
And it's really that simple. It's really that simple. So that was that.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, that was that in itself. I could feel when you got to the end, it was like, oh, you know. But again, it's very revealing to the point you're like, do I give that? But I'm glad that you did, because someone else somewhere, like I said, a lot of times, you know, when God was saying, when you're going to do this book, it's for you and for somebody else. Like someone else that is definitely going to resonate with someone who definitely needs to hear that. So thank you for sharing that, Miss Lisa girl. Miss Danita.
Yes, sir. I'm ready now.
You are ready now. Do I need to recap it? Do you remember what it was I was going to say?
I remember the question.
I'm glad, because when you get done, tell me what it was, because I may have fucking explained.
Go
ahead.
You asked if we were intending for a specific audience for our book. And I felt naturally that women who were anywhere between the ages of 35 to 50 or 55 even, you know, who had experiences with divorce and dealt with infidelity and that kind of thing would find a home reading my book. But I found that afterwards, because I had a book launch party, because again, it was before COVID, not right before COVID, but before COVID, a few months before COVID hit. And I had my male friends come in. I had one send me a text message the next day, said, I finished your book. Like, he read it overnight and said, this is powerful. And it's not just for women. So that immediately made me realize, okay, great. I do need to not just focus on women, even though that's still a niche of mine. I know that men can definitely go to the book and figure out ways to be healed from unforgiveness for any reason, because it's your guide to overcoming personal hurt. It's not necessarily divorce and infidelity. It's what hurt you. It's did that person, your boss, not giving you the promotion? It's any of that. It's what is it that you're really dealing with that you're still a little mad about? That
you're
might
still
be
a little tight. Yeah.
That
yes.
Feeling, I'm all about live, love, forgive. I want to live. I'm a fan of love. I tell people I love love. So I'm a proponent of that. And I want you to live your best so you can love your hardest, but you got to forgive at your quickest in order to make it happen.
There we go.
I have a question from the lady down front.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much. Not necessarily a question, but a confession. Okay. I have not forgiven the person that shot my son. And I think that that's going to be the hardest thing for me to do, if ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know, with your book, your coaching, although the intent is maybe women or men who have gone through divorce, you know, and struggling with that, forgiveness comes in all different forms, or unforgiveness.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's something that I struggle with.
You know, and that's okay too. And that's okay too. You know, who gave that person the right to touch your baby? You know, and that's okay. And I don't fault you for that. And I don't even want you to feel no kind of way about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process.
Yeah, that.
Sis, you know what I'm going to say to you? Sis, you know what I'm going to say? Like Danita said, is a process. Walk in your truth. And the forgiveness will come at its appointed time. You don't need to rush it. Do you hear me? Don't rush it. Because see, you'll be lying to yourself. It's okay. And it's okay, sis. It's okay. Believe me when I tell you it is okay. God understands. That's the thing about it. God understands, sis. You're going to forgive in your timing. Do you hear me? You are going to forgive in your timing. It's a process, and you are worth forgiving that person. They ain't got nothing to do with the person. You, sis, are worth forgiving that person. I want you to always remember that.
And know that just because you don't feel it now doesn't mean it's not possible. I think a lot of it seems hard because you just be like, I don't see how I could ever do it. But it is possible. And just rest in that and allow yourself to get to where you need to be as you feel ready to take those steps. Like I'm saying. So
thank you.
Leave me cool. I love you, girl.
I love you too.
Yes.
I know.
This is powerful stuff here. This isn't just, you know, this isn't just talking about, you know, business or how you can do this. This is those insights, these are feelings. Thank you all for sharing this. And you see how that sisterhood, you see how y'all did, that's what it's about. Donna, we clap you up. We love you. You will be fine. You'll be everything in due time. These ladies here, they got your back, just like you got theirs.
I said at the very beginning, this is a new family, and I meant that.
So this is this is something else, y'all. This is something else. Miss Charmaine.
You wasn't ready for all this today. You wasn't ready for all this, girl.
Hey, listen. I think everybody watching this is definitely, we need to reach out to Kleenex and tell them, come on and get on this one. This real right here. This is something. Yeah, I'm so honored.
Yeah, life is real. Life is real. Every day. Yeah, it's not a face lie. It's no longer face lie. Life is real. This is real.
Life is real. This is no hashtags and social media. This is real deal right here.
It's real hashtag deal. I still haven't forgiven him.
There we go.
Or her. Shucks. That's real, Donna.
So we're about set. No problem. We're going, you know what? We got that. We're going to keep on pushing. Miss Charmaine, who was your intended audience when you sat down to do this? And has it changed since the books are coming out?
Yes, so my intended audience was children. However, my book is really for little kids up to old age. It's for everybody, really. But for me, I'm always thinking about the youth because youth are truly my passion. I want them to be able to enjoy life with a smile on their face and to be happy without all the extra easy trouble that's looking for them to get into. You know, I want them to be able to talk with confidence and uplift themselves, as well as adults. That's, like I said, it's for adults too. I want them to be able to stop the bully because they know who they are and they refuse to accept the garbage that the bully gives them. I want them to be able to love themselves without a doubt. So all of those things aren't just for kids, they're for adults too. So originally I did it and it was a children's book, but in the end, I received a lot of feedback from adults that were like, I could use this too. Thank you so much. I needed this and I didn't even know, so mine changed. It's for everybody that wants to be inspired and to inspire themselves.
I love it. I love it. It's for everybody. That sounds familiar. It's for everybody. I just love saying this. Y'all ready?
Yes.
You know what I'm about to say?
No.
Lisa girl. What about you?
Flaw Bacall was intended, the audience was intended for young and old, saved, the ones that are confused about their salvation, and the ones that are just simply curious about this great Jesus that we serve. That's it.
Wow.
Right.
We've got a great collection of authors and ladies on this panel tonight. I hope everyone that's listening, watching, and we're gonna put these links up. We're gonna give these ladies an opportunity to tell where they can get their books purchased from. So we matter of fact, let's do that right now. Let's give everyone a chance to go around first before we go any further, because I'm seeing some of the comments people are interested in. Where can I get this? So can we take a quick second to go around and have everyone kind of tell the viewers where they can purchase their book? Ms. Danita, can you go first, please?
Yes, that's really easy. All things point to my website, DanitaLynne.com. Remember the E on Lynne, because if you don't have it, you won't find me. DANITALYNNE.com. You can order the Kindle, the the paperback, or a signed copy, as well as get this lovely shirt and anything else, coaching, all that is right there. All right.
You got signed copies too?
Oh, of course.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
And a shirt? Okay. Okay. So, all right. So we got that. So for people watching, that's how you can get Miss Danita's book. Miss Charmaine, where can we get your work?
I Am Unstoppable is available on Amazon.com and on my website. It's projectreallove.org.
Okay. There we go. Y'all getting that? That's where we can get Miss Charmaine's work at. Lisa girl.
Okay, you can order my book on Kindle on Amazon. They do not have the hard copies on Amazon because you can get the hard copy. I prefer for you to get the hard copy directly from me, because what I do is I actually pray over every single book, and I give a word, whatever word the Lord gives me, and that's what I write in the book. Every single book. So you can order from me directly. You can go through the Cash App, or you can basically contact me. I do not have a website because I don't need a website just yet. I just want to get the word out there. So
you don't need no website.
Cash App, basically, $MIN Lisa Girl. And you can order directly from me. You can just put your name, give me your name, try to leave your phone number, and you will get your book shortly from me. I'm in the Upper Marlboro area in Maryland. So I can meet you somewhere, or I can send it to you via mail. Strictly up to you, okay? But it's on Kindle. It's on Kindle on Amazon. But I have the actual hard copies to give you. Because like I said, I like to pray over each one. Give whatever God gave me concerning you, even to strangers. God give me words for strangers sometimes. That's an encouraging word, so you can continue to be flawed. Oh, baby.
I love it. She said, I'll pull up. I don't care. Come see. Call me, I'll pull up with the books. I love it. I love it, Lisa girl. Miss Donna, where can people get your book from?
My book is available on Amazon.com, also on our website, which is CincinnatiDoe.com, just like the city, DOE.com. And when you all get the book, don't forget to go back on Amazon and leave a review. Reviews are super important. Good or bad, mostly good, but please go back and leave a review.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes. Little gems.
I always forget to say that.
Yeah. Or just call me directly and be like, Lisa, girl, now you know goodness well. And then we'll pray about it. But if it's just you trying to get me,
So we'll pray about it.
we'll
If you
pray
got a
about
problem
it.
after that,
Because it
we'll
might
do
be something
something
the Lord
else.
want to tell me. Seriously. He might have said, now, Lisa, you know goodness well you shouldn't have wrote that about that right there.
Why some of the wildest things just popped in my head and with you writing in the book for people?
Donna had it. Donna has the book. Donna tell you it ain't nothing bad.
The Lord told me
It's
you're
just
gonna
true.
find a barber
It
that's
might
gonna
be
fix
true.
that
People
shit
might just not want to hear it, but it's
There
true.
you
And it's
go.
free.
It
It's
is.
very
right.
free. And they might not want to hear it, but it's very free and it will set you free.
Set you the
That's
truth.
right.
Will set you free. Now,
Yeah.
I have another question. Thank you. I just wanted to get that going because I see people have been wanting to know. Did y'all get it? Did everybody get it? Cool. There's been people asking, how do I get these books? So we had to go and take care of that real quick. So the titles of your books, it's very important. Like how do you, the process of writing a book and, you know, just like you go and, I know I'm always, I was about to say an album, but when people do projects and they name their album, what you're like, what does this mean? So when it came to you all writing your book and coming up with the title, what was that process? And I was told that some people say, do you have the title before you start the book? Do you come up with the title after you write the book? What was the process of you all coming up with the titles of your book? Ms. Danita, we're going to start with you.
The title for my book came from me feeling like unforgiveness was something that I know it's a choice to either walk in forgiveness or walk in unforgiveness. And I said the other side, because literally I had a piece of paper with the word unforgiveness written on it. And I flipped it over and wrote forgiveness. And I said, it's that simple. It's the other side. I'm just going to turn it over and decide something different. And once I came up with that title, because at first I think it was Forgive and Live. That was the first title. And then I said, no, it's a decision. The other side, I'm flipping the page. Let's do this.
That page.
And
nice.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. See how that happened? Wow. Okay, Miss Charmaine, how did you come up with your title? Whether it be for, you know, I Am Unstoppable or My Daddy's Baby. How did these titles come into your head?
So for I Am Unstoppable, I was trying to write a book that said you can always go, the sky's the limit, and you can't be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I Am Unstoppable came out of that. For My Daddy's Baby, I was trying to write a story about a young girl who was being raised by her dad. And so she's his baby. But the turning point of that was, hate to give the part of the story that's the highlight, but was that it wasn't just that she was his baby, it's that she was also having his baby. So my daddy's baby, I'm his baby, this is his baby. But people don't know that part until they get like to the middle of the book. So that's a secret.
Can we also get that book on Amazon?
It's on Amazon also.
Perfect. My bookcase is going to need to be expanded in a few days here. We gotta get that going. Miss Lisa, girl, I love saying that. That's so cool.
So basically, the title of how I got Flawed called, like I told you, I've already started writing those affirmations like years ago. And so a young lady was preaching at my church. Her name is Pastor Angel Williams, and her sermon title was Flawed but Called. Her sermon was just Flawed but Called. So I went and got me a shirt that said Flawed but Called, and you know, we did a radio show and had our shirts that said Flawed but Called concerning the ministry. And so I was just sitting there, flawed but called, and Jesus still loves me. Shucks, because I was always saying shucks. So my sister Chris, she was like, Lisa, and leave the shucks on there, shucks, because I'm always saying shucks behind something, like shucks this and shucks that. You know, shucks, I'm sexy as I don't know what, shucks. You know, so I'm just always saying shucks. And so
shucks.
That's where I'm flawed but called, and Jesus still loves me. You know, and he loves y'all too. Just accept
30,
it.
35 days, 35.
She was like, and y'all too. Y'all all right too.
Y'all
No,
in the
he
back
loves
good.
all of us.
Y'all is
Shucks. He loves all of us. Even y'all on Facebook live watching. He love you too. Shucks. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. So that's how that title came about.
I love it. I knew you was gonna have something. I knew. Now you ladies have all to me, and you know, you have left something. You have made history.
To God
Whether
be the
you
glory.
realize it or
Amen.
not. You all have published books long after we're gone. Yes, you down
Haynes,
front,
Donna.
Haynes the White.
Are you gonna ask me about my title?
Oh my goodness, did I skip you?
You did.
Donna.
Don't do that.
All
Don't
right, let's
ever do
back it
that
up.
again, ever in life.
Let me
Thank
see
you,
how I
Doc.
can hide his camera. I'm just
Look. Shucks. Shucks.
Shucks, I skipped
Listen
Donna,
up on
but God
leaving my
still
girl out. Don't be doing that. That ain't
I'm
pathetic.
called.
Really?
Now I'm gonna call
Derik,
on Donna.
LaMar.
you flawed but called, baby.
Oh,
LaMar,
no,
it's
man.
okay in Jesus.
Shucks. Yes, Donna, I apologize.
I'll
How
keep
did you
it
come up with
quick.
your title?
I would keep it quick. When we were notified that my son was in the hospital,
Mhm.
and we went to the hospital, they didn't have his identification. So he
Mhm.
was listed as a John Doe. However, one of the things I learned in this process was that so many unidentified people are admitted in the hospital on a daily basis. And each hospital has to come up with their own customized system to differentiate one from the other. And
Mhm.
this particular hospital used state and city names, and they named my son Cincinnati Doe until we got there and identified him.
Wow.
And the crazy part is, I won't tell too much of the story, but there were other people in ICU who were unidentified, who were still unidentified when we left. So there are some people that, you know, have families, don't have families, you know, it's an unfortunate situation, but he was called Cincinnati Doe until we could get there and identify him.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
And
Yeah,
I quickly said, his name is
his
blah,
name
blah,
is
blah.
yes.
Change that name
There we go.
tag.
Rip that up. Get that out of here.
Yes.
Get
He
that
is a
out of here.
person. He is
Right.
somebody. Yes.
I love it. We have about 10 minutes left. So, and I want to say this, we definitely got a chance to, most importantly, figure out what inspired you all and where we can get them. This panel, we have people who are being inspired right now. We have people that are being motivated right now. We have people that are seeing that they're not alone in certain things that have happened to them, certain things that they're going through. So you all are really making some things happen. And maybe someone is out there journaling right now. To that person who is, you know, got a couple notebooks, got something on a paper towel, got something that you're trying to put together. What advice would you like to give the aspiring authors on writing their first book? We're gonna start with you, Ms. Danita.
Okay, as a former English professor, I'm gonna say organize your thoughts.
Organize your thoughts.
Free write, you know, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I just free write," and then they get stuck, and a lot of people don't ever get past the publishing or past the editing phase because they don't know what to do with all of it. So even if you're getting your ideas out, get all of your ideas out, but then go back and figure out how to group them together so that they can actually be read in a way that makes sense. It'll make it so much easier on you during your
in a
editing
cohesive
process.
manner.
Yes. So like I said, I had my outline done and my outline was extensive. It doesn't have to be really extensive, but do yourself a favor and organize your ideas so that you can have a roadmap to where you want to go. Because if you don't have a map, you're going to end up anywhere.
You'd be running on a treadmill. Okay. That was important because I can see you could just be writing. And where you going? You know, where do you, okay, I like that. Miss Charmaine, what's some advice that you have for aspiring authors out here?
So everything that Danita said, but I would say don't go pay somebody to publish your book. Don't find these people that say they're publishers, because I did that and I lost a lot of money to people who said we went bankrupt, whatever. Make yourself a publishing company. Get a DBA, write your book. Like she said, if you don't know how to pay somebody to edit or pay somebody to type. My friend Tamiko told me about Amazon. You can self-publish on Amazon through Kindle Direct Publishing. So you can do all of that yourself. Have your own company, and then you can help other people to come on. It's $1 million business if you're ready to make money, and if you continue to write and invest in yourself like that. That's what I have to share.
Yes,
Wow.
don't use Amazon's free ISBN because you will not own your book.
Hello.
Oh, okay. So
Don't do that.
it becomes their intellectual property.
It's their book.
Purchase your own ISBN.
Yeah.
On Valkers.com.
That's right. There's only one place to get it.
Valkers.com. ISBN.
Yep.
Great advice, Charmaine.
Y'all get that? Listening at home, watching at home.
I had to say I lost not knowing that. And then I got some valuable information. And once Tamiko told me, I ran with it.
Step back for the comeback.
Yeah.
That's all right. Miss Lisa Girl, what advice might you have for aspiring authors?
Yeah. Take heed to what Ms. Charmaine stated. I did not come out my pocket. Then I paid for my ISBN number on my own. Then I paid someone to do my cover for me and my back cover. Okay. One of my staff members. Then my inserts, one of my former colleagues, she didn't charge me anything to do my inserts and to put the book all binded together. She didn't charge me anything. Of course, I gave her something, but she didn't say, this is a price amount. One of my sister, Chris, she's an editor. That's what she does for a living. So she did my editing. And she kept the book real. She kept the book. She knows me personally. So she wasn't going to use words that she know that's not in my vocabulary. You know, like another thing I would suggest to everyone, get at the source. Get at the source. Get at the source. Head at the source. So when you're reading your scriptures, if it's on a devotional or anywhere, don't be out here using words that you don't understand, because it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. And then remember, do it afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid to write my book because I was concerned. Are people going to buy the book? You know, are they even interested? But then God just said, do it. So I did it. And that's what keeps us humble. That's what keeps us humble. When you do stuff afraid. I heard I was making my food, and Donna, you and I think Charmaine was on, and one of you all was saying that you all were nervous. Thank God for the nervousness. Because if you're doing it in your own flesh, it's null and void. So thank God for the nervousness. When I came down, I anointed my tongue with my oil. God, give me the right words to say. Help me to articulate in a manner that people will understand and that it will make sense. You know, so that's what I'm going to share with anyone. Don't pay no large amounts of money. God will send you the people, even if it takes time. Because this lady was trying to get me to give her $5,000. You got the game twisted. I can buy Louis Vuitton and MCM and some Gucci flip-flops for $5,000. Don't play with me.
Hello.
And you did.
I'm thinking of so many other things you was gonna say. Don't play with me. And Lisa Girl, people were anointing their mouths with oil too for the show. So except for me.
That's real.
But it's just
right here.
Hey, what happened before the show stays before the show.
Well, I didn't mean this show. Not
backstage,
this show. It was this other. It was another show. Not these authors. Not these authors. Now we're running up on just a few minutes.
You gonna ask
my sister?
Are you gonna ask me what my advice is?
Oh my goodness! But I would know. Yeah, let me finish. I would say we're running up on a few minutes. Donna, Go ahead.
You know what? That was
Don't
a
do
good
that.
play.
Dirk,
That was
you
a
playing
good
games
play.
right now, Dirk.
No, because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the, I'm jumping. I lost my train of thought. Donna, you know, I was looking at the clock.
Wait till we get backstage.
Oh.
I think my advice, I'm going to piggyback off what all the other ladies said. Journaling, because all writing is just a collection of thoughts. So journaling, get an editor, get some friends that can provide some resources. I'm going to do a shameless plug right now. David Weeks, who is also a Bowie State alumni. He is my graphic designer. He did my book. He does my websites. Does my YouTube, the whole nine. Well, a very, very good friend of mine. Get some friends. And also have an intended audience. Know who you want to reach. You know, have a purpose for writing. That'll help you navigate as you get into the nitty gritty. And then lastly, I would say surround yourself by some other good authors, some people of like minds, like what we're doing right here. I got some new sisters tonight, and you know, I'm ready to write my next book. I will say
that's what's up.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, you can.
I just want to say, and when they publish their book, before they publish it, they should get like a launch team. That's some people that you can do a pre-launch, like before your book actually comes out. Your launch team will read your book and do a review, an honest review, not just a good review, but an honest review. But it puts your book out there before your book is out there. So when people come and they actually look at it, they can see that this is what people already think of the book, and that helps you.
Oh, yeah.
Get you a launch team and do a pre-launch.
Yeah, that's good. I did that. I just forgot.
I did everything.
No, I
did everything myself. But I have good friends. I have a tremendous support system. Shout out to Belinda, Derwin, Keisha, Mom and Dad, Scoop, all of those people. They help me stay afloat. So I appreciate my team, my tribe.
Wow.
And let me share this, if you don't mind, Donna. If you don't mind, LaMar, I just wanted to share this. And make sure when you do your launch, don't manipulate people like by charging a registration fee and include the book in the fee. Whoever wants the book, they're gonna purchase the book. You got to get out of this manipulation mode. You know what I'm saying? If they want your book, you do your book launch like Donna did hers. Donna assisted me with mine. If they want the book, they're going to purchase the book. That's all.
And that's part of knowing your purpose, your intent on writing the book.
Yeah.
I didn't write my book with proceeds in mind. It was to tell a story. It was to reach my son and some other communities. It was not about profit.
Exactly.
Amen.
I gave about 30 books away, so.
There we go. Well, I hope that everyone watching tonight, as I said earlier, is motivated and inspired. Ladies, give yourselves a round of applause. This was an amazing night. Yes, the young lady down front in the white.
I want to say one last thing, another shameless plug. I want to invite all of you all to a book signing that I'm having on April the 3rd. I'm going to send you all the information, but I want to tell the viewers as well, if you go to our website, cincinnatidoe.com and RSVP, you will get the location information, but it will take place on April the 3rd.
I love it. I love it. April 3rd. Everybody put that on their calendars. Ladies, give your history making sales a round of applause. Yay. This was an amazing night. Yes. It was my honor and privilege to be here speaking with you ladies. Like I said, I hope everyone watching and viewing got a chance to get that information as far as how to reach out to you all, how to purchase your books. Definitely want to, as I said, increase my. There we go. I must say, yeah, we're going to put those up. Everybody want to put their books up so people can take a look at them. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this out there. This right here was just the first of many events and things that we could do. As I often always say on my show, shameless plug, Mr. Derik LaMar show on Rib Radio Network. I always say we all we got. We are all
That's
we
it.
got.
That's
So,
all my.
just right here, everybody tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody, and they'll tell somebody else. Does anyone have anything they want to say as we close out this evening?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Donna.
ladies.
so much.
Thank you,
Creating this
Derik. I
platform for us.
enjoyed it so much.
Thank you
And nice
all.
meeting
Thank
you, ladies.
all.
And thank you,
Indeed.
Mr. Derik LaMar.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. It was
And
my
thank
pleasure.
you
Derik,
all
My
out
honor.
there in
those
Facebook
shirts come in
land
2X.
watching. Go ahead, Lisa. What you say?
Derik, do those shirts come in a 2X?
But they come in anything. I make them to order.
Okay. I need a
Gray,
shirt. That's
white,
cute.
black. I got you. Thank you so very much. We go wrap.
Okay. And a water bottle too.
I got the plug. Aaron Chanel,
Bam.
customized. I got the plug.
Bam.
I
We
love
can make
it.
that happen too.
Okay.
We get that thing laid back. We can do that. We can do all that. We all of us going to we just going to exchange stuff here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Thank everyone for tuning in to the Pandemic Authors Panel.
Yes.
My name is Mr. Derik LaMar. For Miss Danita, Miss Donna, Miss Charmaine, and Miss Lisa, girl, we say thank you very much for your time rocking with us this evening. Now go on out there and be great. Let's get it.
Yes.
Yes.
All we got. Have a
We
good
all
night.
we got.
Yeah, we got.
Good night, everybody.
Okay,
Good night, everybody.
so I just stopped.